what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Light from Mars. It is your girl Marissa. So happy to have you here. Today we are going to be discussing one of the most well-known and compelling infamous cases of alien abduction ever told. Around the world, there has been an estimated 100 million human victims who have claimed to be abducted by aliens at least once. However, the case of one Australian woman named Kelly Cahill soared above the rest, eventually being deemed the holy grail of alien abductions. This story is truly unbelievable, had multiple witnesses, substantial evidence, and was the first alien abduction case to truly captivate the entire world. It all happened on August 7th, 1993, in the outskirts of Melbourne, Australia. On this day, Kelly Cahill was traveling back home with her family after visiting a friend. It had been a normal day and a seemingly uneventful drive. That was until, however, the family saw lights on the horizon that were connected to a gigantic spaceship. Before I go on with this absolutely insane story, I just want to say that if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. If you like this video, you're definitely going to like my other content. I release 6 new videos every single week, so there's plenty of content for you to binge and enjoy. So before we get into all of it, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. Thanks, guys. Now let's get on with it. So before this day, 27-year-old Kelly Cahill lived a relatively normal life. She married her husband Andrew and they had 3 kids together. In her later book, Kelly describes that she was very devoutly Christian and spent much of her time praying and reading the Bible. Just a few days before her infamous drive, Kelly admitted that she did have an unusual experience. She was in the middle of deep prayer when she had the urge to say to God, "Why can't you be closer to me? I want you here. I want to feel your pure presence." After saying this, Kelly says that she felt an intense, overwhelming, breathtaking presence in the room around her. She felt a surge of energy, her skin flushed, and her hair was standing on end. She said that she felt a tingling sensation throughout her entire body and that her heart was pounding. She said that she was even afraid that she might pass out. This energy went on for about 15 minutes, and the entire time, Kelly just stood perfectly still. She said that during this time, it felt like she was having data or information transmuted into her mind. Afterwards, she felt like the experience was the proof of God's presence that she had been asking for. Afterwards, she immediately told her husband about her experience. He then admitted that he had also had an experience while this was happening to her. He had seen a flash of light fill the sky outside across the entire horizon. However, he thought it was strange because he did not see any thunder or lightning. After Kelly then told him about her experience, he was admittedly a little bit frightened. After recalling this event later, Kelly said that she does think this event was related to her abduction, although she did not interpret it that way at the time. Only a few days later, Kelly, her husband Andrew, would be on their way to a friend's home for a get-together. According to their story, they were driving along Belgram-Hallam Road in Nair Warren that night. While they were on the way to the friend's home, Kelly says that she saw something in the sky. She described it as a row of 5 or 6 large orange lights on a, quote, distinct circular shape. She said it was like nothing she had ever seen before. However, the lights quickly vanished. And although she did take note of this, she was eventually able to just kind of laugh it off after spending the evening with her family and friends. At about midnight, the family left and began their drive back home on the same road. It was then that Kelly and her husband Andrew saw what she believed to be the same lights hanging above the road. The objects sat there for a moment, but then quickly sped off at what they described to be an incredible speed. Soon though, it appeared again in a paddock just off the side of the road. Apparently, it was so close to them then that the lights were practically blinding, and Kelly could actually see beings through the open windows of this craft. It was also absolutely massive in size, about an estimated 150 feet wide. After that, Kelly says that her memory went blank. She describes it as, quote, like a cut to scene in a film. Their car then apparently traveled several hundred meters down the road, with her husband seemingly trying to escape the object and speed through the brightness. Kelly would later say that they felt relief and believed that they had outrun the object. This feeling of relief is all she remembered when she came back to consciousness in the car, still in a daze. Her husband also seemed to have blacked out, and they all felt that same feeling of relief. They then continued home, not realizing at first that it had been an entire hour since they had first seen that UFO. They were certain, however, at this point, that they did see a UFO. Afterwards, many strange things started to happen. When the family got home that night, their house had a horrible odor that they described as almost smelling like vomit. Kelly also noticed before going to sleep that she had an odd triangular-shaped imprint burned into her skin just under her belly button. She then ended up having to be hospitalized for 2 weeks due to a severe uterine infection and severe abdominal pain. According to some reports, she also apparently began unexpectedly menstruating and also had to be treated for a womb infection while in the hospital. During this time, Kelly also reported that she began having nightly visitations from black hooded figures with lightly growing red eyes. She even admitted that she had brain scans done while in the hospital because she honestly thought that she may have some sort of mental illness because of what she was experiencing. However, she was never diagnosed with anything. After some time and later undergoing hypnosis, Kelly was able to recover some of her lost memories from that night. She said that her and her husband had pulled over to the side of the road and they both got out of the car so that they could get a better look at this object. Further down the road, another car had also parked and pulled over to the side of the road. Those people were also out of the car and they were staring from the top of a field. The next thing that Kelly remembers is that a 7-foot tall, thin creature appeared in front of the object. It was all black in color. As Kelly describes, it was black as in pure nothingness. She then heard it speak telepathically in her mind. It said, "Let's kill them next." Then more beings appeared. This unleashed an energetic force that knocked Kelly to the ground. She said that this force carried an emotion of pure terror.
Sort of low-level frequency that came in waves, but it was so dense that I could actually physically feel it going through my body. And that feeling absolutely terrified me. It was like, I can't even explain the horror that I felt.
She then began screaming to her husband, "They've got no souls, they're evil, they're going to kill us." The being then replied to her out loud, saying, "We mean you no harm." She said, however, that the tone was very sarcastic and arrogant. Kelly's husband then replied and asked the being, "Then why did you just hit Kelly?" The being then replied, "I wouldn't harm her. After all, I am her father." Kelly says that she assumes that it was mocking the fact that she often called God her father. This is where Kelly's memories ended. Soon after this fateful night, Kelly was contacted by Bill Chalker, a Sydney-based researcher at the UFO Investigation Center. He then began an intensive investigation into her story, joining forces with a group of paranormal investigators from Melbourne called Phenomena Research Australia, or PRA. At the time, the program was led by director John Atchitell. Atchitell had several interviews with Kelly and even examined the location where the alleged event took place. There, they did find several strange large marks in the field as well as other physical evidence. Investigators also later placed an ad in local newspapers attempting to find the occupants of the other second car. Shockingly, they were able to find them. And the stories from the second car were identical to the stories told by Kelly and her husband. However, they detailed even further about what happened beyond what Kelly could remember. They shared details of their experience being taken inside of the craft and then strapped to tables and examined by these mysterious beings. The women even all had the same strange triangular mark imprinted near their belly buttons, as well as other strange marks on their body. The 3 people in the second car also all drew sketches of the beings that they saw, and these drawings were almost identical to the ones that Kelly had drawn. Soon another person came forward, a local lawyer who claimed to be in another car driving by who also witnessed the event. And of course, his story also lined up with everyone else's. The PRA researchers then began compiling a massive 300-page report, trying to uncover the truth about what happened. However, before this report could ever come out, the story was picked up by the media in 1994, and Kelly soon began appearing across television, magazines, and newspapers around the world. The story was absolutely sensationalized, and her name became huge amongst UFO circles. She did several appearances, talks, and conferences, all while dropping a steady stream of tidbits from the upcoming report. She even ended up writing a book about her experience, which was published by HarperCollins. It quickly sold out and was reprinted several times. Today, the book is actually no longer in print, and copies on the internet are worth over $150. By 1998, Kelly had pretty much completely disappeared from the public eye, and her husband nor any of the other witnesses ever came forward publicly to validate her claims. The PRA's 300-page report has also yet to come out. Today, in 2020, the report has still not been released. However, Kelly's case is still infamous. The Kelly Cahill case was even referenced in the latest installment of The X-Files in 2016. And even though it's been 27 years since the event, John Atchittle actually told ABC News just this year that the PRA report may still very well come out, but probably not anytime soon. He said that the original plan was that after the report came out, all of the witnesses were then going to come forward to validate the claims in the report. But he said now they are no longer in contact with any of them, so that can't really happen. He says that they don't want to release the report and have all of the pressure and attention just on them as an organization. He also said that the original 300-page report was eventually shortened to only about 100 pages, after Kelly, her ex-husband, and the other witnesses requested that information started to be taken out, including medical and psychological reports that provided major backing for their stories. Mr. Atchittle ultimately claims that the case got, quote, muddied up when it blew up in the media in 1994. There was also a falling out between Mr. Chalker, the original investigator, and the PRA. To this day, Mr. Chalker affirms that he completely believes Kelly's story and that he actually believes that this was, quote, an extraordinary missed opportunity. He knows that there was so much real scientific investigation and evidence around this case, and he personally still does not understand any of the reasons that the PRA has given to not releasing the report. Although she did leave for a little while, Kelly is now again living in Australia in the same area as her original abduction. However, she maintains a very low profile and no longer does interviews. And just for the record, her real name actually isn't even Kelly Callahan. They ended up just using fake names to try to reserve some of their privacy. Perhaps one day the PRA report really will be released, but for now, all we have is Kelly's incredible story. Although all the details and the truth about what really happened may never be known, Kelly still catapulted alien abduction into the mainstream spotlight and instigated the growing desire for scientific investigations into the phenomena. For this, her case will always be remembered. So that is the case of Kelly Cahill. This is such a crazy story, guys. Like I said, this is brought up in so many different circles, in so many different instances. It is absolutely infamous amongst UFO researchers. And it also really helped to kind of break down some of the stigmas that people had about alien abductions prior. It kind of made it more, I guess, publicly accepted in a way, and kind of opened more people's ideas to the possibility that this could be a real thing. Although it was obviously probably extremely traumatic for everyone involved, in the very least, I do think that it can be said that it did provide some good, and that it at least did shine a light on this phenomena that had been overlooked for so long. So what did you all think about this story? Believe it or not, although I am really into this kind of thing, I had actually never heard of this case, which was pretty surprising to me. Do you think that there was any way that she could be lying about this? I mean, with all of these witnesses and all of this physical evidence, I mean, I just don't think that there's any way that this did not happen to her. But if you have any other theories, or if you know anything else that I did not mention in this video, please definitely leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Of course, you can also read Kelly's book if you can manage to get your hands on it. I will put a link to it down below so you can at least check it out. I think you might be able to purchase it maybe on an ebook or something like that. I'll try to look into it and I'll let you know the details in the description. That being said, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big like. I really appreciate it. That means that you guys like these videos and that I should continue making more like them. And of course, if you are not already, please do hit that subscribe button. I know I already asked, so you might have already done it, but you know, just in case you haven't, you can do it now. It's no problem. Like I said, I post 6 new videos every single week, so there's tons of new content for you guys coming out all the time. If you liked this video, you're definitely gonna like my other videos, so you might as well just stick around for a little while. I really appreciate every single person who supports my channel, watches my videos, and of course, I am so grateful for all of my subscribers. So that is it for this video. I am sending you guys all of the good vibes and love today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!